Is it just me that seems to spend most of my time staring at something, trying to think of a way to do it? I'm just trying to work out now where to put the bulkhead so that I can work on both sides of it, rubbing it down, cleaning it off, putting on another, various coats of paint, seam sealer and all the rest of it. And it's just it's like having brain fog all the time. Anyway, the wheels are up, they're done. They've just got to harden off now, which anything up to 3-4 weeks, so that's where they'll stay. They're not the problem. I'll probably throw a sheet over them when I start spraying. So yeah, bulkhead, 5 foot wide, 3 foot high, and my shed's 9 foot by 9 foot. You'd have thought there'd be bags of room. It would be if I took the workbench out, but I'm not doing that. So scratching my head. Now admittedly, I brush coated it and I wiped it off with solvent first hand, and that I know is why I got some peeling. So I'm probably gonna have to give it a lot of rubbing off. But that doesn't explain that, does it? That's almost flash rust, and this stuff's supposed to be anti-rust and all the rest of it. So that's a crock of shit for a start. It was only a case of just getting on something to stop it flash rusting. And the bit that got painted best is flash rusted. Oh dear. Anyway, order of attack, I think, is basically give it all a good clean off, key it all up. Probably give it another coat of this stuff, this Corroless, which means I've got to buy some, I think, and be a bit more fastidious as to how I put it on. I might spray it and then brush what I can't get at, but it's like getting into those cavities. Yeah, I know there's nothing in here, so I could do a cunning plan on how to coat the inside of all that lot, and up there, down here. I mean, the idea is, once I've got it all top coated and finished and hardened, is to invert the thing and get some clear cavity wax and basically just flood coat inside, before it gets wet. Anything just to help improve things, but clearly I weren't looking very well when I didn't do that bit, or maybe it's just muck. Oh no, it's just muck. So yeah, anyway, that's got a few days work, get this prepped up, and then the paint is going to be a 2K, and it's a urethane paint, so a 2-part mix, so drying should be less of an issue, but it just means I've got to learn how to use another one, and that's a primer undercoat anti-corrosion thing, branded by Raptor, and then it's got the Paint Master top coat, not that colour. So yeah, we shall see. I'll just stand and stare at it for a few more minutes wondering. So that's had the first of the only spray coats of Corroless I'm going to put on. I've coated everything I can get at and see. The next job is to, well, once that's all dried off and hardened, is to go around and use a seam sealer on basically every seam. Gonna buy some brushing sealer. I think I've got some tubes of it, but I might keep that for the rear tub. I just think the brush one will be able to poke it in a bit easier. That's my thoughts. Anyway, going back to when I welded all this up, there's some pretty shoddy welding. I mean, this sort of stuff. I'm guessing that I can go over that with seam sealer, because the bonnet hinges here, so the bonnet should sit about here. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. A bit of a run picking up there. Most of this stuff is from when I brushed it, but it's got a umpteen coats of paint go over it all yet. But yeah, look at the state of that. Anyway, we shall see. None of it will be visible by the time I've daubed it all in sealer. I've done both sides. Yeah, wish the workshop was 3 times as big. God knows how I'm going to do the tub. But, well, we'll deal with each problem as it comes along. So this is what I'll be doing for the next couple of weeks. Painting, rubbing down, painting again, rubbing down, painting again, rubbing down. We'll see. Well, that's a big old mess. I've gone around and seam sealed everywhere that water can kind of get inside. And yet, at the same token, I've not sealed. if the water, when it's inside, can drain out to the outside, I've left that open. So I've just noticed I've not done that one bit, but that it's sealed around the outside, and that's a flat plate against a flat board, so there's no water should be able to get in from that way. It's a bit of a mess, but won't stand out as much when it's overpainted. It's a polyurethane, I think it is. Ultra seal. Supposed to do what it says on the cam. Yeah, so I've done both sides. I've just got to leave it now. I'm not sure how long it takes, but it's quite warm in here, so I think I'll shut the door and leave it. It cures with moisture, so it absorbs moisture out the air, and we're not renowned for being a dry atmosphere. Ta-da! So that's had a couple of coats of primer undercoat, an epoxy one, so 2K. The biggest problem I've had is the texture on it. Nothing on the instructions to talk about. I've just noticed that. That looks like water. Nothing on the instructions about thinning the product. And yet I've had to add 10% thinners just to get it to trying to level itself out. It's not bad there. Yeah, I mean, it is only a primer undercoat, but it's yeah. I was expecting it to lay down smoother than that. Anything that looks like a dribble is obviously a welding error. But yeah, we're getting there. Anyway, that's both sides done. Going to give it overnight, and then I can give it another couple of coats tomorrow. I've got a tenant moving into me cottage, so I've been in and out all day, but hopefully that's all sorted now, and I'll be sorted for 12 months. So there we go. Bit of progress. Be alright if I was doing grey, wouldn't it? Well, cards on the table. It's not gone particularly smoothly. My initial problem or concern was this fairly textured finish. On discussion with Paintman Paints, they've said, oh no, just want sanding down before you put the top coat on. But get in touch with Raptor UK and see what they recommend in terms of your setup to see if you can get it on smoother. So I've messaged Raptor and got a response back much along the lines of instead of using a 1.8mm tip, use a 1.3, and also thin it down. No recommendations as to what the thinner I should be using, and there's nothing in the instructions that they provide to say thin it. Having said that, yesterday I did thin a little bit down and went from basically that kind of coverage to that. That's pretty much acceptable. Not great, but it's better than it was. But as you can see, I've got a few issues with a bit of blistering. I don't know whether that was trap solvent in the Corroless paint or what, but I'd got a bit there and a bit there, so I've scraped it all back, softened the edges, and I'm ready to give it another coat. I've then noticed I've got a mark there which I've got to do, but then I'd scuff the corner here. So this has got the stupid ass black paint that the replacement parts from YRM come coated in, and I'd scuff that, gone over it with Corroless, scuff that, and then gone over it with epoxy. And this epoxy is just basically peeling off. Look. I would have said that that's not adequately bonded. Now arguably you could say, oh yeah, but it's not gone off yet. You're supposed to be able to sand it after 8 hours. It's now 12 hours. And I mean, it's hard, but it's off. It's not tacky, nothing on it. I can almost scratch it with my fingernail. So yeah, a little bit despondent now, because based on that, I'm stripping the whole bloody lot off again. Seam sealer, and probably take it back to metal, in which case I might as well send it for sandblasting. Oh, just, yeah, not a good day. Well, that's just bloody annoying. It's taking ages, and I still got to get around all the nooks and crannies and whatever. Anyway, I'm committed now, so I think this is me for the next frigging week. Not best chuffed. Both got shouted at, she's not best chuffed. All I can taste is dust. I've now done, I think it's 15 hours taking all the paint off. It's just all the little niggly bits, like round that. Oh, I'm going to clean those out. I'm trying to take the maximum off, and then I'm going to run it over to a guy, local guy that does sandblasting, and see if he can just finish it off. You know, a couple of hours as opposed to all bleeding day. This side's sort of, I'm just going through the detailing of it. Detailing, yeah, like I know what I'm talking about. Using that thing, which is all right as long as you don't lean too hard on it. Because if you lean too hard on it, the belt snaps. So yeah, I've got to come up. I might have to take these back off, but from memory they were a bit of a pig to get on. I might leave them and just scratch it off with screwdrivers on it. But yeah, it's getting into the, I mean, particularly when I put seam seal around everywhere, just trying to dig that out. I've got it out from pretty much everywhere down the footwells, just want finishing off. So yeah, what a bloody pain in the rear. Hey ho.